Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everything in between. Get ready for another fantastic episode of Gaming After Dark. It is episode 15, and tonight I am back. This is Boom Boom Kaboom, Noof Nukem himself in the room, and I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Primal Eve.
Hey, but that's not all. Not only do we have the amazing and sexy Primal Eve, but we also got the almost as sexy Saltiest Gaming. What's going on, Salty? How you doing, brother?
Hey, the salt signal went off when I was grocery shopping. I was like, how can I pass up a time to talk with Noof and Primal Eve? So here I am. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It's good to see you guys. Make sure to tweet this out, man. And yeah, let's have a good time.
Well, speaking of shouting out to the chat, we couldn't be here and we couldn't do this without them. They're the fucking backbone of why we do this and are the driving force behind these podcasts. And I don't want to be sounding cliche, but hey, if they spend a moment to come out, I always say, you know what, if these people come out and spend even 1 minute of their time to show up and even say hello, then it deserves a hello back. Okay, so I am going to acknowledge our chat, starting with the first people who showed up here tonight. Timothy Dixon, what is happening, brother? Tip Top Dalton, how are you doing? Spider-Man 356 is here as usual. He is Mr. Consistent. I am telling you, just like no one did call him Spider-Man. He's just always hanging around. We've also got who else we got here right now? Draven Nero, how you doing, brother? Z Black Rada is in the house. We got Philly Eagle. We also have Truth X7. What's going on, Truth? Middle-aged game guy is here. Draven Arrow. There we go. Philly Eagle, Siberia, what's going on, brother? Ashtray Gaming is in the house. Holy shit, J Slayer J, Biggie G, or Biggie is here. FC Violent, I think, is in the house. Did I see him here? Fantastic. Wow, what a crew, man. Jeez, what a great way to start. And it's early. Usually these people don't start strolling in to 20 minutes after. But let's get right down into it. We got a lot of stuff to get into, man. The excitement is building. I can feel it in the air. You can almost smell it. E3 guys, are you excited? Primal Salty, just chime in, man. Like, fuck, it's almost Christmas time for us gamers.
Yeah. Tell me about it, dude. I mean, I've been packing a chub for like almost 2 weeks now. Should I talk to a doctor? I don't know. But
well, I don't know. You've been to the doctor recently, so it sounds like you're getting ready to put away that chub.
Yeah, we talked about some things, a snip, and yeah. No more.
Oh man, Salty's gonna have a new podcast, Salty Snippets.
Yeah, it was quite the interesting meeting with my doctor. Let's put it that way. They had a penis pump in there. There's some other things going on. Drop my joint. Like, all right, well, here's the time that drop your pants, son.
Drop your pants. I guess that would be a good time to remind everyone, if you got your kids hanging around and as you're watching this show, or you're planning to watch this at a later date, this is Gaming After Dark, which means our humor and our topics can get a little bit more risky, I suppose, on your average podcast. So just keep that in mind, everybody. Fastback, what's happening? Shizno Elite Distracted, what's going on, brother? Prima, how about yourself? Are your tits tingling from E3 news right now? What's going on?
Absolutely. My tits are always tingling. No, I am looking forward. I don't know. I'm that one person that sets their bar low, so that way I'm not disappointed. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy that it's going to be 2 hours long. I just hope it's not filled with somebody deep throating a fucking flute for more than half of it.
Well, yeah, there's no Sony this year, so we don't have to worry about any orchestras showing up and putting us to sleep. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I still can't believe it's already here. I feel like I was just talking about last year's E3.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm pretty sure anybody who is a diehard Sony fan would even accept a butt trumpet at this point in time after the no-show there, right?
Yeah.
You know what though? Like, just on a side note, like, super excited for Microsoft, and again, I think if you're a gamer, no matter if you own a Sony console or not, you got to be disappointed that they aren't a big part of the show, right? Don't you guys feel that way?
Yeah, man, I've talked about this, and people can say what they want to say, man. Oh my God, Salty's Gaming's the biggest X bot out there. My console of choice is the Xbox platform, but I'm a gamer. I've said this before. If a toaster played games good, I'd be rocking a toaster and playing that if they had the right exclusives, But yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's like this big gap that's left I don't know, in the hearts of gamers, because it's a huge part of the conference you're taking out. It's like, I don't know, going to the playoffs and then taking out a big competitor, you know, like let's just say, I don't know, in the NBA playoffs, you take the Golden State Warriors out and you're like, well, not gonna have them anymore, but you enjoy the rest. It's just like, man, it's kind of the same, but not. But this whole what is it? The Sony pony guys out there, just the really hardcore.
Right.
The only time you use that's for the idiots on Twitter that just go hardcore, but they're like, Sony doesn't, you know.
I've already seen like how the hype for The Last of Us and Death Stranding have now obviously skyrocketed to another level. Like these two games alone are going to be better than anything that Microsoft could possibly do at E3. It's like, are you fucking, you get serious, man, get serious. I mean, I got Sony console. I'm fucking disappointed. And you know, guys, and Salty's right. I can tell you, I've spent a lot of time playing games with Salty. We've been in lots of private chats, and I've never heard this man go off on fucking PlayStation like hating it and fucking saying shit about their games and stuff. As opposite, he's actually given lots of praise to the PlayStation and many of the games as well, and wishes that he could play them, and at some point will probably will. But you know, everybody, like I said, they see your podcast and they kind of, you know, sometimes they just loop us into this one thing, and it's not like that at all.
I don't know if you guys see me on Twitter, but I'm tooting the horn for Nintendo, except for today. I kind of had to blast them, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing, you know.
That fucking
not having online capabilities, but I tell it how it is. Sometimes it rubs people the wrong way, and it is what it is. Biggie thought I was having an online spat with Eminem. I was telling him, I was like, I wish, man, because I put quotes from Eminem in there and I tagged Eminem in there. So he's, are you beefing with Eminem? I was like, Eminem doesn't know who the fuck I am, nor does he care. But if he did, if he roasted me on Twitter, I would save that tweet. I would plaque it on my wall. You know what I'm saying? Because Eminem's I don't know. He's like one of my idols. I guess I would call him, because he came from nothing, you know, did what he wanted to do. And, you know, he is one of the legends out there. So
keep those receipts, brother. Keep those receipts. What's going on? Jeepers Creepers in the chat. How's it going, my friend? Astrid, what's happening? Jago Kukid is in the room. DJ Xbox fan, how you doing, brother? Thanks for being here. We got a great chat. I'll send this question before we get into our topics, but Cameron says, what do you think the Xbox conference will close on? Great question, Cameron. And we'll just get into that sort of our E3 speculation. I will just say, if they're going to close on anything, it will be probably hardware, or I think it'll be a big announcement from possibly one of the studios they acquired. I don't think they'll probably start the show. I'm thinking maybe with something like Gears 5, because we know that's coming. And that would be a great way to kick off the show, is that chainsaw sound and roll, great way to kick it off. Let's kick it off with a AAA banger, one that everybody's highly anticipating and expecting, and go from there. You know what I mean? So as long as there's not too much filler and they just keep it coming, and I suspect the stage again is going to be cramped, because every third party this year, at least most of them who don't have their own show, is going to want to suck up some time on the Microsoft stage. This is a great chance for Microsoft to build some relationships here with studios that perhaps, and publishers perhaps in the past, that they haven't been as tight with. So good for them. How about you guys? What do you think is a possible closer for the show, Primal?
Fuck.
No, it's not porn.
Well, it's kind of like how can you say that after what they did with Cyberpunk? Mm-hmm. It could be fucking. Oh my God, Fable would be fucking ridiculous.
That would be a great way to close the show. Yes.
As much as I love, let's keep moving forward. New hardware. That's fantastic. Whatever you give, right, I shall play. Mm-hmm. But I want to see what it is that I'm going to play. So if they could bring back something as fantastic as Fable back, then absolutely, that would definitely bring on like the nerd chills, the nerd bumps, and all that stuff. But if it's hardware, I'll just be like, okay. It's definitely not as exciting for me.
Patman Game, what's up? Patman's in the chat. Can you imagine that if Patman says Ninja Gaiden? Could you imagine if Microsoft and Tecmo showed off a fucking Ninja Gaiden on the stage this year?
Be crazy.
God damn, wouldn't it? Go ahead, Sully.
What if they ended the same way they ended in 2018, but like showed us like way more of Cyberpunk and gave us a date, I think that would be a banger. You know what I'm saying? Like they did it last year, but it was kind of like that, like the stage got hacked and stuff like that. I think that game has enough pop that you could potentially end it with that again. I know you did it last year, but the fact that you'd be giving out a release date and more information on the game, that'd be huge, you know?
Yeah. Well, it'd be even cooler if they actually had some sort of exclusivity thing with Microsoft, but we know that ain't gonna fucking happen because Phil is just not cool on exclusivity. Although the competitors like to do it all the time. This is what I'm saying. The competitors don't mind fucking slapping you upside the head with, "Hey, we got bonus content only on. We got bonus content only on this." But Microsoft's like, "Hey, everybody should play it." Look, I agree with Microsoft, but the bottom line is, your competitors don't want to fucking play ball. So you might as well be a dick too and just, fucking give them a bitch slap back. At some point, you're only going to take somebody's socks upside the head before you got to start throwing some haymakers yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if they reveal hardware, when do you guys think that they'll slide that in? Do you think it will be, I can't remember when the Xbox Scorpio was, when they did the whole like sizzle reel with the trailer and everything. Was that like mid-show, beginning? And I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check. But I'm trying to think, like, would you just kind of put that in the middle? Like, because they have xCloud to talk about. You have hardware potentially. You have all the. It's just like, where are you going to be putting things, you know?
I'd personally show it off when you have one of those spots in your show where there's that little bit of a lull. And I'm sorry, maybe it's just me because I'm not the just say like Minecraft fan in the world. But when you come out of that fucking indie section or you come out of like something like Minecraft where it's kind of like your gears just changed and then you're trying to ramp shit back up again like movies. Even the best movies sometimes had that little midway lull and then all of a sudden you got to bring it out with a big explosion and a kick-ass action sequence, aka like John Wick. Speaking of, go see number 3, it was fucking incredible. But that's what I would do, is bring it out somewhere when there's a little bit of that, when the audience gets a chance to catch their breath and just take it away from them again. Just like, boom, here it is, baby, new hardware.
Yep. Yeah, man. Chat was saying that I don't know if they're saying it was at the end of the show for the Scorpio or if they're predicting it's going to be the end of the show for this E3 hardware reveal. Let us know, the Scorpio specifically, when did that come out? I want to know about that. So
they did one at the closer to the start of the show, wasn't it? I think that year when they launched the Scorpio, when they showed it, I think it was pretty close to the beginning. I think it was there's always a game first. You always start with games, but it's usually somewhere like fairly close in the beginning. Gets people going. But like I said, this year again, Microsoft, either which way you look at it, it's going to be a pretty dynamite show. All eyes are on them because nobody else can really come along and steal the spotlight this year. You know what I mean? There's nothing to compare it to. It's just boom. You just got to come out and put up a performance. It's kind of like ice skating sometimes when the show with all the spotlights on you, like the figure skaters and shit. Indie Gamer, what's happening, bro? Distracted by OLED, what's happening? Chase Jones is in the house. Ace Junkie, what's going on, guys? Thanks for coming out and checking out the show. Biggie's in the house, 2316. Yeah, Primal, did you have any more takes on this? Any more thoughts? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing?
Yeah, what have you been playing? What have you been up to? What's been keeping you busy?
I've been playing work that 9-to-5 job and coming home and going to sleep. No. I've been messing around with some of the games on Game Pass. I've been playing Inside, just like some side scroller stuff. And
gotcha.
I don't know. I'm in that funk. I'm in that funk where it's like I have some stuff I can play, but I don't want to play it.
It's either the mood is not there or you're tired, kind of a thing, right? A little bit of both.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of both. Like I've definitely played where I was tired and exhausted, like waking up, walking into a wall and shit like that in a whole nother world. But no, I don't know. I need to be excited. I'm not excited. Somebody excite me. Find something that let me see.
Well, a couple more months, Gears of War 5 will be out, and if you ain't excited then my dear, you will have let me down. And you didn't come join us for our private match the other night. I was so disappointed. Everyone got a message from you.
I know. I saw that too late. I saw it way too late. I was already like gone.
Only Bon showed up. Well, Salty tried, but he was a bit late to the game, and then I jumped off and went to something else. But yeah, it was disappointing.
So I didn't have Gears downloaded. Let's just put it that way. I'm not like a Gears multiplayer dude, but I was playing it today and wrecking people. So that being said, it's 117 gigs. So I was like, hey, Noof, yeah. And then I come back and like 2 hours later, it's still downloading. I'm like,
oh. Yeah, that's one of those games. I think let that be a word of advice, you guys. When you're planning to delete a game from your hard drive, you might want to reconsider games that often get replayed in the list and ones that are like really large, you know?
17 gigaroonies.
Yeah, because I don't care what kind of internet connection. If it's over 100 gigs, you're still going to be there a while. Like that's a given, right? Gears, Halo, those are the two that are always and will always be on my hard drive. That's bottom line. Those are the two that never come off. Oh man. So Salty, how about you, man? What are you about? You've been playing a lot of different games, obviously. You put out a review today, which I have to go check out because I'm really interested. I think it was the Void Bastards.
Yeah, Void Bastards been playing that. They gave me an early review code. It's a hard struggle for us small YouTubers. You know, you got to grind. And I've been doing reviews just on my own dime and getting the reviews out way later because these people, you know, bigger YouTubers, they get the early review copies and they drop it right when the embargo's up. So this is kind of the first time I got a game early and I was able to play it at my leisure. So it was nice, nice doing that. The game's awesome. I think it's a perfect addition for Game Pass. It's $30. In my review, I said it kind of got repetitive towards the end. So if you have Game Pass, check it out, man. I think it's outstanding. It's probably the most, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing when it comes to a comic book oriented like video game because it literally looks like you're playing inside a comic book and like the cutscenes are, you know, little boxes like you're doing a comic book and then they have the graphic side of them.
Is it like Beautiful Joe?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
It looks really cool. It's got a great art style to it and stuff like that. There's no question. So
yeah, I would say definitely check that out. I would probably hold off on dropping the 30 on it unless you're sure about it. Because like I said, about 5 hours into it, it kind of got repetitive. You know, they're a smaller studio. This is like their second game. So I believe fully that they're super talented, like one of the up and comers out there as an indie developer, but they just didn't have the assets or the funds. Yeah. So obviously it's procedurally generated and stuff like that. Like if they had the budget, like if Microsoft, let's say, owned them and they had the budget, man, out because I think the comedy's on point. I think the art style's on point. It's a game I've never really played before, which is nice because when you're trying to play games, you want to play unique games. You don't want to play the same old shit all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, it's like I said a while back, if I was Microsoft, it would have been smart and bought Telltale and fucking had them do episodic content for Game Pass because then they would have had it on lock.
I've been saying that shit from day one when Game Pass first started. They would be making so much more. People would want to keep subscribing because they want to keep on going on with the story.
Yeah, they'd have constant fun. People wouldn't sort of be just one and done with their games because it'd be like a TV series, right? You'd be waiting for the next episode, and it would give perfect reason to kind of keep your Game Pass subscription up to date, so to speak. You know, but yeah. I tell you, as a Salty kind of put a tweet out there, and it's this game that I've been looking at too for the Switch. I guess it's coming out for Xbox and stuff as well, but it's called My Friend Pedro. That shit looks pretty cool. Salty, eh?
Yeah, my friend Pedro. The first time I ever heard about it was my buddy Shameless. We game share together, and I was like, "What?" I think actually before he said something, and then at E3 they showed a trailer of it, or somewhere. And you know, like when you see some of these trailers, you just kind of immediately know that game's going to be badass. This is what that did. Like Katana Zero is one of those. And then when I saw Dead Cells, especially in the indie realm, you see some cool shit, you know, it's cool shit, you know, you don't need to play it to know that it's going to be fun. But like in this game, it's just like it's like I don't know, the way you're killing people in that game is kind of like crazy. You're jumping around, spinning around, shooting your guns,
like a Matrix, basically, like a side-scrolling Matrix game.
Yeah, side-scrolling. You know, it looks badass, is all I got to say. So I can't wait for that game. The Switch, for what it is, like how popular it is, it's just so underrated when it comes to indie games. And the indie gamer out there, he could tell you in the chat. You know, he does.
Indeed.
YouTube content on that, and he actually sold a Switch and then rebought one because the indie content's second to none, man. You're looking for good quality first party plus the indies, man. The Switch got tons of
that. It does. I just downloaded what did I buy for my Switch indies, and I don't buy a lot of them, but I picked up Ninja Gaiden, the arcade game, and I picked up Super Blood Hockey, which is actually a ton of fun. Yeah, definitely recommend that if you're looking for a bit of a scratch your hockey itch, because there isn't a whole lot of hockey games. It's just like playing the old NES ice hockey mixed with Blades of Steel, and there's a lot of crazy ass crap in there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man, it's just cool. Like, I play my Switch on the go. I don't know how other people play it, but it's cool. Like, if I have like 20 minutes here or 10 minutes here, 15, pop on an indie game, play it whenever. You know, my kid, for some reason, she has the options to play a Switch or an Xbox, and this just tells you that you can't tell your kids what to do, really, because she prefers the Xbox, and she always has. Like, she likes the Switch, but like, if you gave her the opportunity, well, do you want to play the Xbox because we have all kinds of games there? You want to play Switch? She always picks the Xbox. So it just comes down to preference. You walk into an ice cream store, I mean, you try vanilla, you try chocolate. Preference is what it is. It's a human thing, you know, so it's pretty interesting.
All right, chat, time to prepare your vaccinations. Let's get into the first topic of the night. This one's not going to be a big topic, and we kind of talked about this slightly in the past. I'm sure various podcasts have touched on it, but a new article just came out, taking this source from our hated partners at IGN. Gaming disorder officially recognized as a disease by the World Health Organization. And this is a statement. The World Health Organization has officially recognized gaming disorder as a disease as part of the 11th revision of the International Classification of Diseases and Related Health Problems. And this will take effect on January 1st, 2022. So, I'm going to get Promo's take on this first, but gaming has kind of been classified now as a disease. I didn't know you could catch anything from video gaming, but take it away, Promo. What's your take on this classification? What do you make of it? And what do you think are some possible outcomes now that sort of gaming has a health classification, so to speak?
I don't think anything is going to come from this, except for maybe some parents being like overprotective or extremely strict with their kids, or maybe a significant other will take advantage of this, trying to get their other half off the game. Honestly, you can have too much of anything. It's not, I don't know. Gaming is a hobby. Yes, it's a passion, and it's something that we do. Yes, there are extreme circumstances where some people may, neglect their health a little bit, or, skip a couple bills to get the latest games. But that's their issue. It's not going to happen to every single person that plays for more than 20 hours a week. Like, majority of us play over, I don't know. I've played over 100 hours a week, probably more. And I don't see that as something that's extremely unhealthy. There's people who watch like too much reality TV, or people watch like certain shows, soap opera shows, all day, every day. It's just it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Like, oh, that person's drinking too much water, they must have a disease. They're just picking and choosing.
Yeah.
So it makes me laugh. This isn't the first time I've heard of this. There was like another research thing years ago about it. So, no, it's stupid.
It's totally stupid. Salty got me fucking rolling with his comment. Salty, take it away, brother.
Yeah, about to collect some checks, man. When is this going live by the whoever World Health Organization?
Yeah.
It's like 2020 or something like that. I'm gonna set a timer. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I'm playing so many games. I gotta play more. Nah, but jokes aside, dude. I saw Patman Gaming. He was saying I could see it as an addiction, but not a disease. According to Center on Addiction .org, addiction is defined as a disease by most medical associations. So it is addiction is defined as a disease. Check the sources, baby. I got them. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, when you're talking about this, it's an interesting subject because obviously it's a positive thing for a lot of us, right? Obviously we're all passionate about gaming. That's why we're here, right? You're not going to be watching a gaming podcast if you're not passionate about gaming. Let's be honest, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Point.
So we don't like to see what we love be attacked or grouped or classified into something that's negative. And I think that's kind of the initial knee-jerk response. It's like you feel like you're being attacked, right? If someone says that gaming addiction is a disease or it could be classified as such, then you think automatically, well, it's just going to be another negative stigma on gaming. Because let's be honest, there's been a lot out there, right? That people have had to fight over the years, growing up as a gamer into your adulthood. But if you look at it, just people are just trying to classify everything, especially people on that side. You know, taking psychology classes in college, you look at what is it called? The DSMV or whatever, their whole classification book in psychology. They're trying to classify everything as some kind of a disorder or some kind of a mental problem. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised by it because everything needs to be stigmatized or classified or this and that. But at the same time, I do know that anything in your life, if it goes to the polar end, can be negative to your health. Negative.
Indeed.
So wait, does that mean that I'm in denial right now because of how I feel about this whole thing?
So the thing is like a lot of the times, like I said, if it's something positive in your life, you might have the blinders on. But if it is detrimental to your physical, mental health, relationships with other people, then that might be a time to take a step back. You know, I know times where I had my shit out of whack and I had to like take a step back and say, hey, maybe I need to do this a little bit less or more or this and that. You know what I'm saying? So it can get to that side. And I think we all as gamers need to know where our limits are. You know?
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it any better, both of you guys. I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, gaming is without a doubt disease, no addiction, totally. Like a lot of us get addicted to these things, and I'm addicted to games. I mean, I don't know how many times I stop and look. Like, I mean, the fact that our backlogs keep getting bigger tells us that, you know, we're addicted to games. We're addicted to even collecting games to some degree. You know, and I think if you're putting in, if the majority of your hours in the run of a week are probably spent playing games more than, say, spent time with family or doing other activities, it could technically be an addiction. But I guess it all depends on how you weigh it out. And like anything that's addictive in life or anything that could get bad for you, it's about moderation, right? And that's the biggest thing. And this is where, again, parents have to be called into question, and that they have to, you know, step up a little bit more and be moderators in their house. Because I think with the access of gaming, and this is the biggest thing. I mean, it's always been, people have always gamed a lot, especially with consoles and PCs. But now with mobile gaming, where mobile is, you know, it's always an access. You know, how many kids go to school, they have the phone with them from the moment they wake up till almost the moment they go to bed. So they have constant access to some form of, say, gaming. And we've seen, look, cell phones. I mean, cell phones itself can be classified as addictions or diseases. And would I not be correct? Because people can't put them the fuck down anymore, right? People use them driving. People are having them at the dinner table. And I'm guilty as charged. I mean, I'm always on fucking Twitter and different things like that. Like, I'm telling you, but it's just like, I hate the fact that gaming always seems to get singled out. I mean, even to the point that just recently, what's his name? Prince Harry fucktard over in fucking England is trying to get Fortnite fucking banned because kids are playing it too much. Like this is like this kind of bullshit. Like, how come, you know, like, why is it always the game industry takes the brunt of everything where other industries kind of just get a little and they move on? But gaming, gaming is bad for this, gaming's bad for that, and gaming is an addiction, and gaming's bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so tired of all these shit sticks, these politicians and fucking all these idiots out there in the world just constantly always points the finger at game, because I think it's an easy scapegoat, because gaming still gets no respect. It's looked at, even though it's a bigger business than the movie industry, it's still looked at as a kid's business. It's still looked at as a hobby for kids, right? And I guess until the world comes around and finally gets the fact that there's more adults playing games than there's kids, I think it's never going to really change.
So, real quick, like, why is it such a, I don't know, like, why do people stigmatize gaming, but yet people could come and watch television all fucking day?
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Why isn't television watching classified as an addiction?
Yes.
Is it
Yes.
simply because
Facebook?
Like, what's the difference? I mean,
Yeah.
I would argue that gaming has a more positive. Facts. Studies have shown that there's more positive outcomes from gaming, right? Reaction times. I saw that in the chat.
Yes.
It's helps depression. It's been
Critical
shown
thinking.
Critical thinking, all this stuff, right? You're interacting with things. You're actually doing stuff. I'd argue that TV watching, just sitting there on your ass, sinking into the couch and not doing jack shit for hours is worse of an addiction than gaming is. And you could back that up with studies too.
There's
right?
millions of people addicted to porn, Salty, but nobody's talking about that because the thing is with porn is lots of people addicted to it and spend hours watching that fucking shit, but nobody goes outside and goes, "Hey, I got a porn addiction. Look how you see the boner in my pants." You know what I mean?
Actually, I've watched a lot of documentaries on porn addiction, not for my own health,
Right?
and reasoning. Just they just so happen to be on. But you can really be addicted to everything, and it is a shame that gaming is getting a spotlight. Like out of everything, why would video gaming be a reason? It's like I hate to bring this up, but like back in the day with when Columbine happened with the school shooting, they immediately started blaming Marilyn Manson and his music. I was so confused and baffled. It's like there needs to be a scapegoat for something. So if there's like a kid who's doing really bad at math, oh, it must be because he's playing too many video games.
Yep.
Oh, this kid murdered his entire family. It was like, oh, he must have been playing Call of Duty too much. Like just I don't know. There's always some reason to use something as a scapegoat. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Indeed. It is what it is, I suppose, but at the same time, at some point in time, us gamers, we got to stick together and we have to band together eventually if they're threatening our hobby as we know it, because God only knows, where laws and all these fucking things could potentially take our gaming industry in the future. I mean, our game, gaming is tame compared to what the movie industry's been doing for decades, and yet, like I said, there's a bit of nudity in a game and everybody's freaking out. But if there's, Mortal Kombat, you're ripping people in half. There's guts flying all over the screen. There's shooters out there where brains are splattering, all this stuff. And that, no one toots a horn, but God forbid there's a tit or vagina or a penis on a fucking video game screen. And they're like, it needs to be censored. Like, what the fuck?
Which doesn't make sense because TV nowadays, the censorship has gone so downhill. Just the amount of language and partial nudity that they can use in even like a PG-rated movie, like PG-13, is nothing compared to some of the shit that they give games. And you, for some reason, I still keep thinking that we're all in denial. If we had like a Gamers Anonymous instead of like an AA, we have a GA. And we all get together and talk about it. I don't know.
What's going on, Green? Long time no see, brother. Thanks for stopping in. Iron Beagle. I almost said bagel, but Iron Beagle, what's happening, brother? Magnetic Storm 25. Yeah, Iron Bagel. Yeah, there you go. New gamer tag. Speaking of, maybe that gamer tag will pop up on somebody's list tonight, because I don't know about you guys, but holy fuck, what is up with the spam bots lately? On Xbox, constantly saying hi, hello, hola. I'm getting all these messages, and the first thing, right? I'll check them out because you never know. Could be somebody that's a fan of your work or something. Right. And then I go to the profile, and sure shit, 0 gamer score, and they're offline. I'm like, oh, I know what this shit is. Like, who's doing it? Like, who's got that much time on their hands? Creating an Xbox profile is not like something you do 3 clicks and you're done. You got to set up a fucking email, and you got to set up a name. Well, most of those are randomly generated, but there's still a bit of work to do a fucking Xbox profile, right? It's like, holy shit. What's going on? You guys been getting bombarded with that crap?
It's horrible.
I've had them before, but lately it's been like a lot. Like, I don't know what the fuck is up with it. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I don't know what company's doing it, but man, it's out of control. So Microsoft needs I know they put in an update where It kind of filters them out, but then people are getting comments on their like Achievos and stuff like that. Now it's weird. Like,
yeah, what's going on, Crazy Greek dude? But I don't want to get carried away. We got a lot of topics to get into. That's kind of enough, I guess, for the first topic. It is what it is. We'll just kind of have the monitoring. I'm pretty sure it's not the last time we'll be talking about that issue. But again, an addiction, disease, definitely not. Just it's like everything in life, just moderate and all that stuff. Kind of this tailgate off of that, and I want to talk about. And I don't like to get into politics too much, okay? And this is not a slam on anything here, guys. So don't take this the wrong way. But I think it still needs to be brought up. Like, I guess it's a bit of a trade war between the U.S., Donald Trump in particular, and China. And now he's talking about putting a 25% tax or a tariff on the gaming consoles. So the question is he planning on doing this with other products that are coming for China, or is he just targeting the games industry again and making it a scapegoat for taxes? What do you guys think on that? I think it's absolutely fucking asinine. I don't think it'll have any effect on Canada, but you never know. A lot of shit flows downhill or uphill in this case, and Canada often bears the brunt of shit that happens in the U.S., as I've said many times. So what do you think? Primal Salty, who wants to take over and just give us your two thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up in the other discussion because it seems to go hand in hand. Trump and some other politicians love to just blame video games for everything, right? So if they put this tariff on video game consoles, it's just another way for them to get back at gaming. I don't know what did gaming do to these people when they're younger, or the lack thereof. They don't understand it. Like, is it jealousy because they can't play video games? I don't understand what's going on here. Like, why is there like an attack on video games? I don't get it. Trump has said many times that he's attacked video games and video game violence, and then now bringing up this tariff situation. Why is it the go-to, man? I don't get it. I don't give two shits about politics. I think they're all corrupt, but
yeah.
And it starts affecting my gaming, because if you think about it, they put a tariff on these consoles, 25%. Like, how expensive is next gen going to be? Holy shit,
no doubt. Chances are that's going to translate to games, is going to translate to other aspects for sure. And I don't see the company sucking up the cost on that, because they're not making a lot of markup as it is on the console. So they're not going to swallow that fucking tariff. They're going to pass it on to you. And like I said, our $500 console is now going to be like $500 and probably fucking $50 or what, it's fucking stupid. That's a lot too. Like 25%, like even if it was like fucking 5%, but 25, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'm not a political expert, but when I saw that, it's just another slap in the face. And like I've said before, I've said this to many people. If you're a gamer, man, you're kind of used to this, like, punishment by the outside world looking at you and talking and all this other stuff. But I'm just wondering when it would actually change, because the gaming's supposedly going mainstream. We're trying, all these companies are making pushes towards the cloud and reaching billions of gamers. It's like, is this all talk, or like, what is going on here? Because isn't it like all casual gamers out there that just don't give a fuck, or like what is going on? Like, why are so many people just letting it happen? Just like, oh man, it's gaming. Yeah, who cares, right?
Like Philly says, it's going to hurt the consumer, and it's just going to pad the pockets of the fucking corrupt politicians, as always. Just again, another fucking just another bullshit thing. That's all I can say. Primal, what's your take on it?
I'm gonna be right there with Salty. I don't understand why gaming is being targeted. Like, do they get a message of someone saying "get good," and then all of a sudden their whole entire world just turned upside down?
I'm not gonna let this go ever.
It's just that's what it feels like. It's like how villains are created. They were shunned as a child and all this stuff, and nobody wanted to play with them. So they were like, well, if I can't play with you, you're not going to play with anybody at all. That kid that pops like the dodgeball ball because he can't catch or run or kick or just be outside. So it just, I don't know. It absolutely baffles me. It makes no sense. Find something else to target. That's all that actually should be targeted. So.
And I just want to point out, it doesn't matter which president would be doing this. It would be stupid no matter who did it. You know what I'm saying? This is not it's a Trump thing. It's just stupid, period. It doesn't belong. It's a scapegoat. It's another like a tax grab. It's all it is. Just like, oh man, all of the bullshit. I'm telling you. I got a question for you guys because most of you are in the States. Do you guys pay a bottle deposit on your cans and bottles and when you bringing them back to recycling?
5 cents.
What was that?
5 cents. Do you pay a bottle deposit when you buy, say, a can of soda pop or something at the store?
A bottle deposit. I know if you go recycle the shit, you get some kind of money if it's like glass or a certain amount of, aluminum. But I don't think we have a deposit though.
Yeah, okay. No, I think there is. In some states, you do have to pay the bottle deposit.
Because here in Canada, you buy your drink.
A way to make you go return it.
Yeah, because here in Canada, you buy your drink, you pay your tax on your drink, then you pay a bottle deposit. For example, on a standard 355 milliliter can of Pepsi or Coke, whatever it is you're drinking, I think it's 10 cents. So basically, you pay the 10 cents, and when you go back to the store, actually, it might even be more than that, but I forget. But then you go back to the store when you return your bottles. You get a portion of that back. Like I returned 4 bags of fucking recyclables like yesterday, and I got $30 something back, which wasn't too bad. Like, I can almost buy a video game with my fucking deposits. But the thing is, one reason I asked that was because here in Canada, if you think your guys' government is sometimes stupid and corrupt in the US, well, apparently our government here in Canada, Mr. fucking Trudeau, fucking what a turd burglar that guy is. He wants to put a fat tax. We're going to call it a fat tax on soda pop. Apparently, it's going to be a tax they're planning to add this fall on carbonated soft drinks because of the health issues associated with them. So basically, they're trying to. Well, what they're trying to say is by putting the tax in, it's going to cause people to drink less soda pop, and therefore maybe people will lose weight and stop costing as much in healthcare because obesity is one of the largest healthcare fucking factors all the time. And yes, I do kind of get where they're going with that. Soda pop is one of my weaknesses. I fucking drink too much of that shit. It's not good for you. Again, moderation. But yeah, they want to put a tax on the fucking drinks up here, and I think it's absolutely asinine. Like nobody's gonna fucking care. Nobody's gonna stop drinking pop because you put the fucking tax on. Just another tax grab once again, and to just blame it on us soda pop fat drinkers.
so that bottle deposit, yeah, we definitely don't have that, but it sounds pretty smart on their end because they're like forcing you to like recycle. You know what I'm saying? You want your money back? Come bring the bottles back, bitch.
Yeah. Well, we're saying. Son Jason, who brings their bottles? Well, I will say recycling is fucking huge up here in Canada. I don't know how much you guys pay attention to down there, but like recycling is huge up here. Whether it's cardboard, plastic, bottles, almost everything up here gets fucking goes to a recycling depot. It's insane. Yeah,
lots of people talking about soda in the chat.
Chango, is Canada going to start taxing guys for depositing sperm inside your wife? Well, don't put any ideas in fucking in their head. Jesus, man, I'm telling you, they'll be putting some weird ass tax on the fucking condoms up here yet, or the birth control pills or something. I'm telling you, fuck. Well, in Canada, they should be taking stuff off the birth control and getting more people to have kids, as our population is declining rapidly, and it's due to the high fucking cost of having kids. Like the numbers in Canada are crazy. Like families now are lucky to have 2 kids up here now. Like unlike back in the fucking 60s and 70s and 80s when like it was not uncommon to have 3, 4, 5 kids. But yeah, crazy.
The population up there pretty.
Well, that's the crazy thing. The population of Canada, we're the second biggest fucking country in the world, right? Second biggest country in the world next to Russia. And our population is about 35 million. Think about that. You guys almost have as many in the population in New York, in one state, as we have in our entire country. That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. Like, what's the population in New York?
Shit.
Billion. It's crazy. Like I know it's in the high. It's in the high millions. You know what I mean?
All cows and fucking horses. So.
Yeah, Australia is about 27 million. Like that's you know, I don't know how big Australia is, and that's a pretty big country in itself. But yeah, Canada does not have a big population. Like our fucking landmass is spread out. It's just insane here, man. Like it's crazy. It's like open, like in the area I'm in, there's fucking millions and millions of acres of just open land. It's insane up here. Dreadful. Save money on condoms. Flip them inside out and reuse them a second time. Ew. Yeah. A little slimy. But let's get into some more topics. We definitely can get going on this podcast off in the wrong section. Let's talk about one of the first big ones. We kind of alluded to it at the top of the show. E3 this year, Xbox 2 hours long. What do you make of it? Primal, we'll start with you, dear. 2 hours, that seems like an eternity for the E3 presentation. So what are you expecting? And do you think it's going to be an amazing 2 hours?
As long as, like I said earlier, like as long as someone isn't like deep throating a skin flute or anything for hours on end, which actually I might enjoy that. I don't know. I do have some expectations on some new IPs, especially from the newly acquired studios. So it would be nice if we saw just a couple things here and there, especially I got my fingers crossed for Ninja Theory. Obviously it'd be great to see Gears and Cyberpunk and some more Halo, you know, those guys. But I don't know. I want to see something new and refreshing. I want something to excite me. I wouldn't even mind seeing something come back from the dead, Fable. So I don't know. Like I said before, also like I'm trying to keep my expectations low. I'm getting excited even as I'm talking about this right now. I'm trying to keep them low just so I'm not disappointed. I've been disappointed so many more times before that I don't know. But for 2 hours, please do not be talking. I don't want talking. I want to see.
Yes.
You know, I need some more visuals. I really don't want to see people just talking and talking and talking about hardware. I know it's important, and I know it's like it's just I don't want that shit. Show me the money. So I guess the hardware would be the money, but show me the games.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
More thriller and less filler. That's what you're saying.
Yes, even though I could use some filler. Maybe filler because I'm into that shit. But yeah.
Hold the phones, people. I got a big shout out in here to one of the most talented motherfuckers in the podcasting. Well, I guess he doesn't do a lot of podcasts, but he definitely does design work. Xbox Pope is in the chat, guys. This guy is incredible. Motherfucker makes amazing design work. But thanks for stopping in, Xbox Pope. Appreciate you being here, brother. Everybody is excited for E3, indeed. Salty, 2 hours, man. What's your take on the 2 hours?
All right, 2 hours. All I want to see is just Minecraft for 2 straight hours, and I'll be a happy person. Either that, Minecraft and xCloud, just 2 hours, fill the show up, and boom, we're out of there, and then we're good to go. No, I'm just, man, they have a lot of stuff to show off. To be honest, like they have to show off third-party multiplats because PlayStation's not going to be there, so they're going to be filling time with that. And I think Microsoft has learned their lesson with conferences. Like if you take last year's conference for an example, they were just showing video after video after video after game after game after game, and it had a good pace, and lots of people liked the flow of it. So I don't think they're going to make the mistake of just getting up there and talking about dumb shit. Hopefully. But you know, we do have surprises there. I think that they have a way enough content to show and keep people entertained. I mean, go from first party to third party. They got some rumors out there of From Software having that George R.R. Martin type open world game. You have tons of surprises / content to show off, like Cyberpunk. You got new hardware. Like 2 hours is going to fly by. Trust me. I think they're going to do a really good presentation, and 2 hours is like a movie. You know, if it's entertaining and the flow is good, which I think it will be. They have a venue. They've done this before, and like I said, last year was that test, and I think they've proved that they know that people want to see the games. They want to, you know, all But like I said, I'm still sticking to my guns. I'm not getting all hyped on this Fable stuff. I know that lots of people have been talking about this is the worst kept secret to ever, be a secret. But I still think Playground is not working on a Fable, and I'm still going to say that until the writing's on the wall and they say, "Hey, we're working on a Fable." Because I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. So hopefully it will happen for all the people that do want to see it. But man, the Ninja Theory game, I'm looking forward to that. Cool things, more information on Gears. Like how can you not be excited for that? And then actually seeing gameplay from Halo Infinite.
Sure.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think there's two things you can count on at this show. Is you can count on Gears 5. They're going to ramp that sucker up big time this year because that game is just months out. And Halo Infinite, I think we're going to see something finally concrete on that because they're going to really want to hype that game before it's build up. And like I said, we might be a year away from seeing new hardware. And I have a funny feeling they're going to want Infinite to launch aside whatever new hardware comes out because that's the best way to build hype for whatever you're bringing. And like you said, Ninja Theory quite possibly because some of their stuff, I think Obsidian as another studio, I think we'll probably see some stuff from because I think they're fairly far along in some of their works. The Initiative, I think we can count them out because they seem, like I said, they're not that far in yet. But it's great to see that their Initiative is hiring some of the best talent in the industry. They basically have the all-star team of devs at this point. And I just hope that the sum of all of their parts don't get too big for their britches, as they say, too many dicks and not enough urinals, because we all know how sometimes studios start. Everybody's ambitious and everybody's got these great projects and ideas, but then all of a sudden the egos come into play. And well, on my last project, I did it like this, and my project, I did it like that. And all of a sudden, especially once the game launches and maybe, if it hits all of its target goals, yeah, maybe they stick around longer. But if the game comes out, ends up being like a lackluster bit of a flop, all of a sudden people start pointing fingers, right? And then all of a sudden people start leaving said studio. We've seen this in the past before, because if you even look at in the past, you look at the God of War games, they've all been successful. But almost every God of War in the old generation on the PlayStation 3 had a different director. It was David Jaffe. And then there was, what's his name came in? Cory Barlog came in to do number 2. And then it was Stig Asmussen came in to do number 3. See what I'm saying? Like 3 different games, 3 different directors, and different staff within there too. So we've seen a dissension with Infinity Ward, who were fucking the biggest fucking developer on the planet at one point in time, and are they even in that conversation anymore, right? So this is what I'm saying. But I'm getting off track. I think it's going to be an amazing 2 hours. You're absolutely right, Salty. They learned their lesson. They learned that fans don't come out for these shows to kind of hear the whole hum. You can leave that for the smaller shows or for that inside Xbox stuff, but you definitely want to, leave your fans with their jaws on the floor from the moment the opening screen comes up and Phil comes out to the moment you end. You want your fans buzzing for the products that are coming out in the year ahead, the days ahead, the months ahead, years ahead, right?
Yeah.
Any more thoughts on that? I mean, there's not much we can say. It's all speculation at this point anyway, right? And speculation is fun. That's why we do it. Rumors are fun. But at the end of the day, honestly, the game that I would love to see at this E3, and I'm probably not going to see it still, would be Splinter Cell. I'm dying for a new Splinter Cell, but whether the hell we're going to get one or not is, I fucking don't know at this point. I don't know if you guys do.
No, that thing with the developers talking about Splinter Cell and saying it was a joke on Twitter, that was weird. I don't know, man. Splinter Cell is one of those games that just keeps getting brought up every E3 and then nothing happens. Perfect Dark was another one of those, and some of these other games that just keep getting brought up in rumors. And it's just like at a certain point, you're just like, man, are we ever going to see any of this stuff? Because a lot of these leaks, man, they just say the most obvious shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, we're definitely going to see a Halo. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah, we're going to see Gears 5, some gameplay. And it's like, yeah, duh.
Well, it's weird though, because we've had, we haven't had a Splinter Cell since Blacklist, but yet we've had how many Assassin's Creed games since Blacklist come out? We've had Assassin's Creed Unity, we've had Assassin's Creed, what was the one after Unity? We've had Assassin's Creed Origins, we've had Assassin's Creed fucking the new one, Odyssey. So we've had about 4 next generation Assassin's Creed. We're now going to have 2 fucking Ghost Recons, We've had one Rainbow Six already, but no Splinter Cell. So Ubisoft, you guys have seriously got something fucked up at your studio. I love your Assassin's Creed games and all, but come on, guys, get fucking Sam Fisher out of the dark already. Come on, man. Well, obviously somebody buys Splinter Cell Spider-Man. I don't know if you got a hate on for Sam Fisher or not, bro, but fucking games are dynamite, bro. They're fucking awesome. I used to hate them when they first came out, but after Chaos Theory, I just became a huge fan. Exactly. Like, you know what? I love fucking Assassin's Creed, but honestly, Jesus, you can give that fucking franchise 5 years off and I won't give a rat's fucking ass. I've had enough of them now. I'm a little salty. I need me some fucking Sam Fisher up in this house. Yeah, kill them motherfucking fools. And that's what we need. We need a fucking John Wick game. Somebody needs to get on that. And I was saying the other night, can you guys see this? John Wick, built by the fucking studio that did Sleeping Dogs with that fucking game engine. I think that would be dynamite. I would do a John Wick like that with just less filler missions, just fucking more action shit. That'd be awesome. All right. People don't buy Splinter Cell is what Ubisoft said. Well, maybe because Ubisoft hasn't fucking published that game very much. That's the problem. And like I said, the Blacklist also had the disadvantage of being like a game that came out right at the transitional, right when fucking the consoles were changing over. So it kind of got flown underneath the radar. So, but anyway, let's get into some stuff. Death Stranding. Can you guys see this weird ass teaser that fucking Kojima put out against some kind of a weird hand in the dark? I guess tomorrow there's going to be news on this game. Primaleve, does Death Stranding have you intrigued, excited, disappointed? What?
I don't even know how to feel about it still to this point. I still don't know what's going on.
You don't know how to feel about Norman Reedus and his walking fetus?
Oh my God. I don't even know what kind of a game it is. I don't even know.
I know every time something comes out in that game, I'm just like, what are we watching here?
I feel almost like everything that they released for it, I feel like it's coming from a different game. And I'm just trying to figure out how to put them all together. I have no fucking idea. I have never been so baffled by something like video game wise, like what the fuck is this before ever? Like I've been able to figure out everything because I don't know, everything's usually simple and cut. Like you get the idea. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Nobody has a fucking idea. This game's going to sell like hotcakes because everybody's going to buy it out of curiosity and probably return it within the first week. They're literally going I wonder if the special edition will come out with a fetus in a jar or some shit.
Oh my God, that alone would be worth getting.
That would be hilarious. Could you imagine? I know the first person who will buy it. Fucking Mr. Boomstick.
Yeah, I would love to see the
channel unboxing the fetus in the jar special $300.
Well, hi guys, I can't do a Boomstick impression. I wish I could though, but that'd be too funny. I can see him now unboxing that. Just to be making me laugh already. Oh man, Salty, what do you think is going on here with this fucking game?
Man, those Kojima stands out there in Twitterverse. I mean, Kojima. They roll out the red carpet anytime he scratches his ass on Twitter. They're like, "Oh my God, Kojima, he farted. Did you see that?" He talked about. It's just like, oh my God, dude, the most overrated guy in the industry. Dudes treat him like he's God's gift to man. If anybody else did this, but Kojima just teased and no one knew a fucking thing about the game, people would be slamming this shit. Imagine if it was a Microsoft game and they're trying to do this shit. It would not fly with anybody else. The fact that you show it off at E3 and people still don't know what the fuck it is. Like, give us a break. Like, no one else could do this but Kojima. But man, he's a genius. I mean, a genius. You can't touch Kojima.
Shout out to the chat. So shady. The Sesh Empire is in the house. Cyber Gunter is here as well, along with Delirium Blades, aka Brian Baker. What's going on, guys? Thanks for checking out the podcast tonight. I'll get right back to your Salty. Just want to say, you know, it's complicated when Xbox Pope is saying he won't do fan art for the game because it's too complicated. Well, I do have a suggestion for you, Pope, but I don't know how much heat you could get on it. Is make your PlayStation 4 Pro design, but kind of make it look like it's got a hollow top, and inside there's like literally a baby wrapped around like the fucking processor, like hanging onto it for dear life or something like that, that would probably be nuts. Anyway, back to you, Salt.
I mean, at this point, I think it's one big episode of Punked. You know, Ashton Kutcher is going to come out. He's going to be like, "Punked, you guys got all punked. This isn't even a game." You know.
Kojima, I wonder if Jeff Keighley's going to be in the game as an extra.
Yeah, seriously. But he wouldn't know what the game is either, because right? All the people walk through the studio, they're like, man, I don't know what the hell this is, but Kojima's a fucking genius. I don't know how he's going to put it together, but he's a genius. The guy's a visionary. I have no clue what this is. You know, Norman Reedus is like, man, I've been doing voice work on this game, but I have no fucking clue what this game is. So like,
Norman Reedus be like, well, hey man, you know, I got to the studio and this guys give me this jar and they just tell me, put me in the mocap suit and I tell me to walk left. And then they tell me to come back and walk to the right. And then they walk to the left and they walk to the right. But I don't have a crossbow. I can't shoot anything. But I got this jar, you know.
They're paying me money, and that's all I care about.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm intrigued and confused. I am interested. Like, I want to see, but I want to figure what the fuck is actually going on. So hopefully whatever they show next is something that kind of gives us a good foothold on what, I mean, graphically, from what I've seen, the game looks fucking outstanding. You know, you just want to know that there's some fucking proof in the pudding here that the game actually has a premise and it's not just like 101 ideas coming from somebody's dreams or nightmares and slapped all together with a couple of, you know, AAA dinger actors in there. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that just gave me flashbacks of, I don't know if anybody's ever seen Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within movie that came out. The movie that made Squaresoft bankrupt, and that's why they had to join Enix. But it was a beautiful, it was like awesome CG movie, everything. And then when you watched it, there was absolutely zero substance or story or anything to it, and it was a shame. And I hope that this isn't the same thing for Death Stranding, because that would be sad.
Yeah, and just to address Sam Delger in the chat, he says we sound like kids. He's been successful for yes. Nobody's debating that Kojima hasn't been successful, Sam, right? Look, I'm sure the guy is talented. He has made some pretty cool games. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, he's been basically known for what? One franchise. Metal Gear. That's it. One franchise. You know, one franchise doesn't make you fucking, you know, developer god. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. So he is no doubt talented, if not a bit of an enigma. Is a little bit weird. You know, and the fact like a lot of studios are all under one studio. And the fact that he puts his name out there as like a Kojima Productions is almost says to you that he has a bit of an ego, so to speak. At least that's how I take it. You know what I mean?
The thing is no one's like immune to being criticized. I mean, Kojima, my God, I talk about Kojima and the stands come out. Oh my God, this guy's so good. Well, what does he put out besides that one franchise? And like I said before, if anybody else did this, like just take a step back. Like literally, we got a trailer specific for this game, and we don't know what it is, and we're just getting strung along here. I will be happy if I can actually know what kind of game this is. Is that so hard to ask for?
Right.
I'm asking, what type of game is this? And stop stringing us along. And then if you want to do your thing, do your thing. I know suspense is a big thing for him. You know, he talked about movies before. He said a lot of things, and it is what it is. I respect him as a developer, but I do think he is the most overrated dude in the industry. The amount of red carpet that is rolled out for this dude is insane, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like Patman in the chat, I will agree with. Miyamoto is now he's a development god, because everything that dude has touched in his career has turned to gold. You know, he has had his name in some of the biggest Nintendo franchises of all time. And like I said, every time that man puts a stamp on a game, it's pretty much like, holy fuck, this game is, how did he top it again? You know what I mean? The guy is insane. Miyamoto, you know, crazy.
I don't know. It'll just be a shame that if we are strung along all the way to the day of release, that would be so fun.
That'd be crazy. Hey,
it's like
Crazy.
Mega Bad Seed is in the house. Konnichiwa. Is that what you were trying to say there? Anyway, I'm excited to see what they're going to come out with tomorrow. Like I said, I'm definitely intrigued with this game. There's no question. I'm like with Salty again. I just want to know a concrete description of what we can expect when we're dropping our $70 down. I mean, it's intriguing. It looks different. I'm sure it is, and weird is okay at times too. There's been lots of sort of artsy fartsy weird games, but I needed to be substance, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So, like I said, great games are often the ones that stand in your memory from the moment you start to the moment you finish, and you're thinking about those games 20 years later. And if you fucking can't remember a game fucking a week after you finish it, it probably wasn't that good. You know what I mean? So cookie cutter, I guess you could say,
So new real quick. I've been hearing from PlayStation guys that PlayStation talking about games that they were talking about last E3. They received these extremely well-rated games on Metacritic for Spider-Man and God of War. It's okay for PlayStation to take a year off. I've heard people say this, right? It's okay for them to kind of breathe because we have all these great games. And I heard if Xbox had similar highly rated Metacritic games, and then they could take a step back and take some time off. It's weird to me that it's acceptable for a whole company to bow out of a conference, because if they are going to bring out The Last of Us 2 as a reveal trailer and then Kojima's game, why not just go to E3? Like, I still don't get it. Like, they could have filled their time with third-party offerings and then showed The Last of Us 2 and people would have been happy. But instead, they want to go this other route, and then fans are accepting to it. Now, Noof, if you're an Xbox fan and Microsoft pulls out of E3, but then they give you a Gears trailer and a release date, are you accepting of that? Or like, because it's pretty much what's happening with some of these other games. People are saying, oh, if I get a Last of Us 2 trailer and a release date, then I'm cool with it. I'm cool with not being at E3. What would you think about that?
Dude, well, I would be highly disappointed, and I would certainly call Microsoft out on it. Gears of War is fantastic and all. Don't worry, it's my most anticipated game. But I mean, in the tradition of things, we want to see more. That's what E3 is all about. E3 is the Christmas of gaming. That's where you have your biggest showcase. That's where, you get people hyped about the future. Now, maybe Sony's a little bit more content than Microsoft is, and they're just at a different period in their timeline, which is obvious because Sony, obviously, yes. I think the problem is Sony spent the last 3 or 4 years trying to basically embarrass and almost trump Microsoft. I think that's part of it. It was swing the bigger dick, right? And they've been so busy trying to pump out these games and get them out, and they did a great job. Nobody can question that. The Last of Us is an amazing game. The Last of Us 2 is probably going to be even better. But they spent that time, and you know what? And I've said it before, it worked because they've been selling consoles like crazy. They've been selling them largely on the backs of these massive, amazing games that they put out. But now they're hitting their lull, and Microsoft's just about ready to go into their full stride. Microsoft had to take a step back after the transition from Matrix to Phil. There was a huge lull, and it showed because after those initial games kind of came out, what was it, 2015, 16, when we had, we had Rise of the Tomb Raider, you had Gears 4, and you had Forza. What was it? Forza was a Horizon 3. Remember that one year we had a lot of great games, right? And they all kind of came out within a window, but pretty much since that, the well dried up. And a few games that did come out, while they were decent games, certainly didn't set the world on fire. You've got Recore, and you've got State of Decay 2, and we've got Crackdown 3, and we've got Sea of Thieves, But if there's one thing about those games that none of the PlayStation games can say, is that those games are still hot. They might not be hot from a Metacritic standpoint, but a lot of those games are still being played, especially Sea of Thieves. That game is still getting lots of playtime. It's still one of the top stream games out there. Not bad for a game that many people so-called was absolute garbage, but here it is. It's still sailing. So, I would be disappointed with Microsoft. There's no question, and I'd have to call them out on it. I love Gears, but Gears alone is not enough to say, well, yeah, it was a win for me because they showed one fucking game or they showed 2 games. No, it don't work like that. So Sony kind of bowing out here is fucking weird to me. I don't understand the logic. I'm pretty sure they could put together even a 30-minute show You only need like I said, to even have half a dozen amazing games and show a lot of them. It could be at least, saving face.
Yeah, I mean, even if you have an hour conference, so be it, dude. Like I said, it wouldn't be hard pressed to get some third party showings. Show Last of Us 2 if that's coming out, and Death Stranding tease like everybody wants, and bada bing, bada boom, you have E3. But they decided to pull out and have these state of play things, which haven't gone over well. And I've talked about this before. The only company that can pull off these mini shows and have hype for E3 is Nintendo. Nintendo has hype for E3. Their fan base is hyped for that. They have reveals at E3. And then with their Nintendo Directs, they're getting tons, like hundreds of thousands of views on those Directs. And they're actually revealing huge games, like Smash was revealed at a Direct. So I think other companies are trying to copy them and emulate them, like PlayStation with the, state of play, and then Xbox with the thing that they do. It's just, Nintendo's the only one that really does it good, in my opinion, because they do both. So it is what it is.
Perfect. Primal, any more thoughts on this at all? On Sony kind of just bowing out, and what your take is? Disappointing? Primal?
Duck.
Primal? She might have to back out. Shit, the girl wasn't feeling well earlier. That's all right. There's lots of great Sony fans out there too. And you know what, guys? I want to apply to all of the fucking really good gaming fans, because whether you're Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony, there is a lot of great content creators. There's lots of great fans out there as well that can speak for their brand without coming across as a pompous douche hat. So shout out to those people, and a big boo to the ones that just are so narrow-sighted. You know what I mean? I've been called an Xbot. I've been called very narrow-sighted as well, but you can come to my house and look at my collection, and my PlayStation collection is pretty big. I've got a PSVR. I've had a PSV at a PlayStation PSP. I've owned every friggin' PlayStation system out there except for the original, and that's because I went with Sega Saturn. So I play all the consoles, and I love a good game no matter which piece of plastic it's on. I do tend to like Xbox. I've said this in the past. I prefer the Xbox platform for a number of reasons. My favorite franchises are there, and I like the online infrastructure, and the majority of my friends are there. But I love all of the consoles. They all have strengths, they have weaknesses, all of them. So I am very disappointed that Sony's not going to be at the show.
If we were just fanboys of Microsoft, the fact of the matter is we would say, oh, Sony's not going, good riddance, no one's going to miss them. But that's not what we're saying, right? There's going to be a huge hole out of E3. Sony is important to the gaming industry. We want them at E3. That's the point, So,
absolutely. But that's the problem with Salty. We can come on these podcasts, and when the bad fans, I'll call them, show up in our podcast chats, they only hear what they want to hear. They never hear when you praise God of War. They never hear that. They just hear about that little complaint that you might have had, or your little take on it. And then they go, oh, those guys just fucking hate PlayStation. They're always just hating on it. Trust me, there's a lot of podcasts out there. Go listen to some panels, and you'll soon quickly pick out who's got the discrepancies and the hate going, as opposed to people that are at least fair. Is there bias? Absolutely. I think we're all tending to be biased toward our favorite platform, but there's a difference between being a little biased and opinionated, and then people that just kind of, well, Xbox is trash and Xbox got no games. When people are saying that bullshit, that's your typical alarm that these are fan boys, as opposed to like just console gamers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But exactly. I'm getting off topics. Primal, you there? You still there, girl?
Negative.
I just got to check something here and see if she's on mute or anything. She's got her mic muted, so she might have stepped away, guys. We'll get back to Primal here in a bit. Let's get into some movie chat since we're at 9:15 in here. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say, guys, John Wick 3 is amazing. If you guys are fans of that franchise, then definitely check out number 3. It was even better than the first two, and I never thought that was humanly possible. But man, did that movie deliver. I'm just going to say there's a scene early in that movie in the library, and boy, let me tell you, John Wick knows how to handle a book. Do not make him make you read chapters from it. Let me tell you, that movie was amazing. I want to talk really quickly about that whole redesign on the Sonic movie, because apparently now that made a big big stink a few weeks ago. Now it's come out that apparently even one of their production people said the movie's been moved to Valentine's Day of next year. So it was supposed to come out, I think, in the fall. Now it's been moved to Valentine's Day of 2020. So, Salty, what do you think? Do you think this is a good thing where people have stood up for this movie? Do you think it's a bad thing that fans had that much sway that they've actually changed the production of a movie? Like, where do you stand on this matter? And are you even excited for Sonic the Hedgehog the movie?
Well, people love to sign petitions, as we know, right? Game of Thrones just ended. Let's sign a petition. Did they sign a petition for this? I don't remember, but I don't really care. The thing is, people are passionate. That's fine. People have visions for their artwork when it comes to entertainment movies. I think it was a perfect storm, a perfect shitstorm for Sonic, because first of all, a great movie came out, Detective Pikachu, that was done really well with this material, right? You look at Pikachu, he looks like a real life Pikachu. Yeah. Done, everything's done right. The CGI is awesome. I just saw the movie today with my wife and kids, man. My wife and kid, I'm already saying kids, right? So it was really good. And then people see that, like how that's done, and then the Sonic comes out and he looks like shit and he becomes a meme, and then the internet piles on, and there's a lot of passionate people about it. And it's just, I think they knew the writing was on the wall. If they brought this movie out, it was going to bomb, first of all, because even if it has Jim Carrey in it, you know, which doesn't really make sense for that role, but I digress. It's just, Sonic didn't look like Sonic. I don't care if you're trying to make him look realistic or you're trying to go more realistic. You change the way the character actually looks. Like if I'm looking at Pikachu, when I watch this movie, it looks like Pikachu. I don't have to like squint my eyes or like, man, did they change the color on Pikachu, or his, you know, his cheeks look like they're purple, or because Sonic didn't even have gloves. He looked weird. Like everything was off. The eyes were off. And it's just like, you could make him look more realistic, but he's a fucking hedgehog that's blue and he goes super fast. Like, how realistic are you wanting it to be in this world? You know?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned Pikachu, which he actually looks just like a real live version of the character that you see. He doesn't look skewed. He doesn't look like all of a sudden he's bigger. He's got weird teeth, or he's you know, it looks like Pikachu. He's easily recognizable. Where I think if like, you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, to a lot of people didn't look really recognizable. Yeah, he looked like Sonic vaguely, but it was almost like Bob Hoskins trying to look like Super Mario, you know, back in that real live action movie. No, I see what you're saying, Sully, and I agree. Like, to me, it was just like, I've seen fan renditions after that came out that look so much more on point, and they didn't change it by a lot. It's just a couple little things, like making his legs actually look like Sonic's real. To me, it looked like a weird kid dressed up in a werewolf costume with really bad dentures. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. It's just like sometimes these guys in Hollywood, I don't know if they're not gamers, but they miss the mark with character design. Like, look no further than that Super Mario Brothers movie that they made back in the day. The Goombas look like fucking horrible, dude. Those don't look like Goombas. What are those? You know?
Yeah, like screwed up dinosaurs had sex with a weird human. I don't know, like Frankenstein and dinosaurs got together, and there you go. You got some weird ass Goomba.
It's just like, you know, these guys smoking crack when they're doing the character design. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, it's just, you know, somebody must have been like, well, let's make Sonic kind of semi-realistic. But it's like, Sonic's not realistic to begin with. I mean, first of all, have you ever seen a blue hedgehog? You know, you know, like all the, you know, and Shady says there's other things too, like the terrible, the lines itself. You know what I mean? There was a lot of different things in it. So,
Paradise, my God, they couldn't have picked the word wrong. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and like that's what I mean. Like, everything about it just is like, who, you know, I always say when you're making a video game movie, make it for your fans fucking first, because at the end of the day, it'll get way less hate than if you fucking always make these movies for the person who's never seen or heard of the fucking property. And this is what drives me nuts, because they do this every time. That's what they do. They go in and they make these movies and like, well, who cares about its heritage and its lore and what it means to the fans? Let's make it for the average idiot out there who hasn't got a fucking clue. They might have heard Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, they're probably aware of it, but they have no clue that this character looks pretty much nothing like the fucking video game. Okay, you guys want to hear Arnie? All right, here you go. Here it comes. Here's Arnie. Arnie, step in here for a minute, man. Come on, guys. What are you doing? I'm glad that you all could come out here and check out these podcasts. I swear I'm going to have another Arnie cast for you really soon. The last one was awesome. Thank you so much for your support. And I wanted to remind you guys that coming out here in the fall, I'm teaming back up with Linda Hamilton, and we're getting together, and we're going to do a new Terminator movie, and it's going to be unbelievable. And that kid that kicked me in the back, what was that? It was like getting kicked with the fly. I turned around, and he was gone, and then security was handling it. You guys are fantastic. And go out there and support your video games and support your movies. Just make sure that you're getting out there, you're enjoying yourself, and you're putting your money back into all these products that these people work so hard on. That's what you got to do there. There you go. No dirty Arnold tonight. Oh man. By the way, guys, Primal, I got a message from Primal. She had to step out. She told me before the show that her kid was not feeling too well tonight. So I guess she got called away for a kid. She may be back before the end of the show. I hope she gets back here in time, at least for usually our normally questions. So it turned out really good that I asked Salty to come on tonight. So I would be here by myself, but fantastic stuff. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for Sonic the Hedgehog, but I want to see what they're going to rechange it and do it. And like I said, sometimes it's good because I think it might be for the better. They might actually save the movie as opposed to having this come out and then it bombs in its first week and it pretty much kills any chance there's a sequel. So, sometimes, yes, I think when it's very clear that they made a mistake, it's good. But sometimes it does backfire. This time, I think it might have been a good call.
Yeah, I think overall, I think the public is pretty forgiving in this stuff. And if they come out with a new trailer, new music, like completely overhauled, new character, people will forget about it, man. I think if you take all that bad shit out of there, like if you actually had a good looking Sonic, I like Jim Carrey. I think he could pull off the role, even though he's not fat like he's supposed to be. But I think he'll do a good job. And then the main character in there, I think he played Cyclops in the old X-Men movies, and there's some good actors in there, and I think there's potential for the movie, honestly. So and I think the time period it comes out, I think people will forget all this shit, but maybe not. I mean, the internet never forgets, so
no doubt. Well, I'm with you on that, man. I think it's good. But let's see what else we got on the old agenda here before we get out of here tonight. Let's check out some stuff. How about the possibility that Ubisoft contemplating their own streaming service? Do you think it could even succeed with EA being out there in Game Pass and PlayStation Now? What do you think, Salty? Do you think they even got a shot at this? Do you think they have enough games and enough of a catalog to steal another $10 out of somebody's pocket on a monthly basis?
The price has to be right, but this is just the way the industry is going. It's going to be an option. It's not going to be a forced thing, obviously, because like EA Access isn't forced. Like you could still buy the games. They're just going to give you an option to be able to subscribe to their service. Like, do they have the catalog for people to subscribe? I don't know. I think that's a person-to-person thing. Game preference is so subjective. It's crazy, but they're going to have their back catalog of older games that they could put in there. Who knows what kind of services they're going to offer. Maybe you get early. They're definitely probably going to mirror the model where you get early access to games. If you subscribe, maybe you could try out the games, get some, if it's $5, who knows, right? Who knows what the price is, if the price is right. Because like the new Disney streaming service, I think that's priced pretty damn well. Like that's off topic, but if you price your streaming service or your subscription service right, I think consumers are gonna, the ones that like your product are gonna see the value and they'll subscribe. Like I don't know, they have some good games coming out, but I don't know if they have the whole the necessary games to run a subscription service. I don't know. That's left to be seen, honestly.
Right. Well, how much is the EA one, Salty? What's that one go for a month? I never did subscribe to the EA access. I mean, I know it's got its benefits, obviously early access to games and betas and stuff like that. So what's that one go for? Is it that one's
Man,
less than 10, right?
I want to say 10, but man, something
I
because
think
my
it's less.
yeah, I think it's like $5, isn't it? $4.99, or it was when it first came out.
Yeah, does anyone know in the chat? Anyone in EA access subscriber in the chat here?
Yeah,
Do you know how much it costs?
they have
I think it's
multiple.
about 5.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. But yeah, if they price it right,
$30 a year. Yeah.
I think it's good. Yeah, $30. That's what I thought.
I think
So,
that's Canadian too, $30. So like even less, probably like about 25 US. So that's fantastic. Yeah. So yeah, and I think slowly but surely Ubisoft has been pulling games out of there's been a lot of Ubisoft games in the free of the what do you call it, the games at gold, but I think they've been slowly pulling them out of the Game Pass stuff. So anything's possible. Like I think there's definitely great value. Ubisoft has a great catalog of games. They got a lot of older titles that you could go to the well with, going right back from GameCube and Xbox era games, so on and so forth too, if you think about it. So I definitely think they could be successful with it, especially, they do have a lot of fans, massive. Obviously, Assassin's Creed's a massive franchise that has a following. Obviously, if they didn't, they wouldn't have as many Assassin's Creed games as they do. Personally, it's a no for me. And the reason it's a no is I'm no to any subscriptions. I haven't even bought Game Pass yet. And I've had so many people say, Noob, how come you haven't got Game Pass? It's a phenomenal deal. And I do not dissuade that. Never have, never will. It is an amazing deal. I'm just not a digital person. I don't like to download. I'm a physical connoisseur. I like to collect my games. I like the fact that when I buy my game, the way I buy it, it's there day one. It's there on day 100. It's not going in. It's not going out. You know what I mean? That kind of bullshit. That's just the way I roll. For me, honestly, I buy the games I'm interested in, and I could give a rat's ass about the fucking, the 80 other 5% of games that are out there that I just really don't have interest in. It's like, we talked with the Nintendo and their indies. I think indies are great, but you know what? There's literally 95% of those indies on the Switch I'm never going to play, and most of them I have no inkling to play. Do you know what I mean? So you could give me all the indies in the world for fucking $1, and I still wouldn't care to play them. That's just the way I roll, and I'm an anomaly. I'm in a vast minority, but I think all these services are great. But I've also said before, you start adding up EA Access, and you start adding up your fucking Ubisoft Pass, and you add up your Game Pass, and you add up your PlayStation Now, and you add up your Nintendo Online, you start thinking about it. If you are a multi-console owner and you subscribe to a lot of fucking different things, all of a sudden, hey man, you complained about cable being expensive. Well, now you're paying more than cable to have all of this shit in one fucking spot. It's kind of nuts. So that's why I don't do it.
I think that you also got to look at the way this is going to impact Xbox Game Pass, because the more and more these other companies decide to do their own services, I think that's going to impact Game Pass. And that's specifically the reason why Microsoft decided to acquire all these first-party studios, is because you need to have the content. And if other companies are doing their own streaming services and subscription services, you got to have the content to support Game Pass. So I think that's why they're doing these acquisitions. There's rumors of IO Interactive and some other studios being acquired at E3, and they're just going to continue to do that to support the content.
Right. Brahma, welcome back. Hope your daughter's is she doing okay?
Yeah, she'll be all right.
You got a flu or like stomach ache or what's happening? Just
Yeah,
not feeling good?
her stomach as usual, and she's got like I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what
Well,
she's
if you
got.
have the pretender, then do what you got to do.
Yeah, she's all right.
Give us your take on the Ubisoft possibly jumping into this whole subscription-based service. Like, is that something you'd even be interested in? And do you think they could be successful? Bramwell?
I'm thinking.
I thought you were gone. Is she gone? Hey.
Like, damn, just hit me up with a thing really quick. I think it will be if they start producing different things, maybe, hopefully. I don't know. It's really difficult considering that they have like I don't know how many Assassin's Creeds now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
too
it
many
would
to count.
really be like the Assassin's Creed pass for the most part. And then I don't know. I don't I don't see it being as successful as EA because EA is
Right.
kind of all over the place, to
Right.
be honest. So I don't know. It's not something I really feel like will be
Well,
like it's
I think there'd be a lot of value in it if they do the Ubisoft games and say like a lot of the DLC would be included in that as well instead of having to pay a separate fee for that. Then it would be like super value. Because you obviously notice Ubisoft has gone, like they've changed their business model a little bit. They're starting to, focus on more ways to get microtransactions and stuff with a lot of their games. So, sorry,
right.
continue.
Well, no, definitely. Well, they also have a massive multiplayer aspect to it too, so that would be very successful for them in that matter with like the division. And I I miss Rainbow Six. There really hasn't been like I love Vegas too. That was my favorite one, and there really hasn't been anything just as good since. And they completely changed Ghost Recon, so I haven't. I don't know. I've said before I haven't really played much of Wildlands at all either. So I don't know. It's not really my.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's nothing that really excites me. Then again, EA Pass doesn't really excite me that much
Right.
either.
Yeah, again, you make a great point. I think it just depends on how much the franchises that they do have, how much you like, right? Because if this were probably a Microsoft thing for me, where they had Forza and Gears wrapped up into a package like this, I'd probably be down for it. You know what I mean? Well, I guess technically they do. It's called Game Pass. Uh, But you know what I'm saying? Like EA games, I think if you're a sports fan, if you love the NHLs and the NBAs and and the Maddens and stuff like that, then I can see there's a lot of value in it for you. But if outside of that there isn't much that excites you, then maybe it's a kind of a wait and see, and you're okay. If you're only buying say like one EA game a year, is it technically worth it for you? If you're the kind of person that buys 10 EA games in a run of a year between their sports games and their action games or whatever, then yeah. And I think a lot of people do like Ubisoft games that technically I think I own a lot of them because I buy a lot of the Assassin's Creeds, the Ghost Recon. So yeah, I guess it really comes down to your preference and if you're willing to pay it. I mean, anything less than $10 is not like a crazy amount when you think of it, right? So I think there's great value in it. It just ultimately comes down to each and every gamer is different and the kind of choices that you like and the games you like to play. What's going on in Furious One? Thanks for stopping by the chat. Eternal Shaddai is here as well. Who did I miss tonight, guys? I kind of got lost on the chat here. Crazy Greek Dude is here. Magnetic Storm 25. Thanks for popping by, everybody. And thanks for everybody who's hanging out with us. Iceman, what is happening, brother? Glad you can make the live podcast. Iceman is one of the first guys who chimes in on our podcast after the done. He usually catches it on the replay. So thanks, everybody, for coming. Michael Monkey Punch Lugo, what's happening, bro? Thanks for pointing that out. I like to make sure everybody gets acknowledged when you show up here. I'm at the luxury of one of the best things when you got a small chat is easier to keep up with. When you got hundreds of people in the chat, it gets crazy. I've seen how fast the popular chats, the popular podcasts and their chat scrolls sometimes. Like, damn. Maybe one day this podcast will be there too, but I think we're a little ways off of that at the moment. But we're having fun, and that is the main thing. Let's get into. Well, I guess we're just about ready to close out this show. So, Primal, let's. Well, actually, before we get into that, one more thing. Before we get into our main question, and Primal usually has it. I think you came up with the question tonight, right, Primal?
Yeah.
But before we get into it, I want to talk about. Let me see. I had something listed here. I want to talk about your favorite game type and one type of game that you could care less. This is like one of those figurative things. And I'll start with you on this one, Primal. Your favorite game type, the kind of games that you flock to the most. And if you could get rid of one game type altogether or could care less if you ever played one or never played one again, what would it be? Go ahead, Primal.
So fucked up because after I saw that, I was like, fuck you, fuck. Like I've been thinking about this. Like, well, I'm at work, I'm filling out paperwork, and I'm looking at names. I'm like, ooh, that's a character. And my all time favorite is JRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love them. I love turn based RPGs, but I also love third person action adventure games as well. Um, More towards like third person RPG games. Like when I was able to finally figure out how to put my character in Skyrim in third person, it changed the entire game for me. Because I wasn't a fan of having the first person view in previous games, and it made me fall in love completely. If I could have actually shit, it's been so long since I've played Fallout. I don't even know if you can go in third person in Fallout.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I love that game too.
Okay, yeah, I think there's you click on something you can go in third. Am I right or am I wrong on that one? I can't because I don't play as Fallout that much. Salty, do you know? And I think Salty has bowed out. Salt.
So anyway,
it's like musical fucking panel here tonight. Gotta double check. No problem. So hang on.
Yeah, I don't know. I love my RPGs. I could play them all day, every day. Now, Gears of War isn't an RPG, and it's definitely one of my favorite games of all time. But it's also another third person. I just love things in third person. Now, if I was to get rid of a game type, see, this is so wrong. I'm gonna go so cheesy and so easy on this one. Sports games. Just get rid of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Sports, but I can dig that selection.
Yeah, it's so hard to move. I could go on and on and on. Like I just don't know. But our RPGs for me need to stay.
Yeah. See, like I used to love sport. Like I'm a huge sports fan. I love sports, but I don't know what happened. But over the years, I've lost contact with sports games. Like back in the 16-bit era, I played them religiously. Even after that, I played quite a bit. But then all of a sudden, they got so to the point where they're so realistic that they almost became boring because now you're micromanaging things within the game just to have fun. And yeah, there's usually lots of sliders and stuff. But like if I pick up these games now, like it was a couple years ago, the NHL one came out with the 3-on-3 mode, like an arcade. I spent more time playing that hockey than I did the realistic stuff. Just it was quick and fun, right? What is my hockey team, Pat Man? It would happen to be the Edmonton Oilers. Not proud of that fact, but it's the Edmonton Oilers all day, every day. Edmonton Oilers. My secondary team is the Tampa Bay Lightning, who fucking screwed up big time this year. But yeah, I can totally dig your choices. In the chat, let me see here. Shell Shady says his shooters his fave. Hardcore JRPGs are his least. So he likes the shooters. Antonio Alessia likes the JRPGs. Patman, favorite type is the first-person shooters. RTS he could do without. And, well, I'm going to have to follow Patman on this one, except that I'm not going to say first-person shooters. I like third-person action shooters like Gears of War. Because if there was one game on this planet, if I was left to play one game for the rest of my life, if you could give me Gears of War with the multiplayer, so I could at least have a variety, that would be my game. And RTS, hands down. Some RPGs I can get into, except for the turn-based stuff, but RTS games, the whole like strategy and moving shit here and moving shit there, those I have absolutely no time for. Can't get into them. They just, even as much as I love Halo, I can never try Halo Wars. I think I tried one time and I was just like, no, not digging this shit at all. So Axel 1324, first person shooter's favorite, but he hates COD. Fair enough. Some people hate COD, some people love it. Some people the opposite. They love COD and hate Battlefield, and that'll be an argument that stands the test of fucking time, I'm sure. Philly Eagle, Flyers and Avalanche, oddly enough, should die. Question of the night. Will Xbox Play Anywhere become obsolete now that Project X Cloud will be used everywhere? Well, quite possibly. Shady, you back, bro? No, not Shady. They both begin with S. I'm looking at Shady in the chat. You're here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, I might have to get So Shady on here sometime soon. He's usually up and listening to the podcast. He'll definitely have to be a guest for sure. I'm pretty sure he'll fit right in here on Gaming After Dark. Salty, how about you, man? What's a game type that really holds your fort for you? And if there was one game type you never could care to play again, what would it be?
Shooters, any kind of shooters is my bag. I've talked about that before. Man, I'm just kind of drawn to those games and always have been. So yeah, that'd be my main pick. The one I would do away with, my God, I don't know, man. RTS, you stole one, man, because I'm not down with that. What else is boring that I would never play? I don't know.
Everybody keeps telling me if you need to play this, what is it, XCOM or whatever it is? And I'm like, nope, no thanks.
XCOM, yeah, no,
thanks. Not my bag.
Yeah, I'm right with you, man. I can't do it there.
Sometimes even the shooters that get overly complex, like for some reason, while it's a shooter essentially at heart, I'm not a big fan of that Deus Ex fucking series. Like I just can never get into it.
Yeah.
The controls are fucking weird. The story is, I don't know, just they weren't my bag. Some people love them, but I was just like, suddenly you'll pick up a shooter and you're just immediately enthralled. Like fucking is Rage 2 right now. Probably not the most complex shooter in the world, but fuck, am I ever loving that? But there's other games that I'll play and I just can't stand them.
Yep. And it's to the point where if someone even bought you the game, you wouldn't play it. Like some of these games, if you just aren't into a game, then you're not into it. It is what it is.
Well, somebody bought me, what was it, Bloodborne that time, trying to get me into that series, into those style of games. And I think I played it and streamed it for about fucking 30 minutes and said, nope, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I love, and that's the thing. That's what bothers me the most is I love the story of Bloodborne. I like the story of these Dark Souls. I like the graphics. Like I want to get into them, but I know I don't have the patience, so I don't bother. It's not because I don't want to or I don't really technically like them. I just don't bother because again, they're punishing and I don't have the patience. If I had the patience, maybe 20 years ago I did. I don't have it anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like a challenging games, but I'm the kind of guy if I've been at a boss for a fucking half hour, like I'm either quitting, giving up the game, or the goddamn console is going over my deck. It's one of the two, right?
Yeah. Jay Slater in the chat said he doesn't like stealth games. In general, I do not as well. I'm not about that stealth stuff. Like in Zelda, for example, there's a part where you have to go to a shrine. You have to like sneak behind this person. If you get caught, then you fail and you start over. It's kind of like Assassin's Creed games where you have to,
the force stealth.
Listen to the people walking, and if you get too close, start over. No, dude, I'm not about that. I hate that shit.
See, that's what I like with the Assassin's Creed ones because they got away from that too. Like now it's a little bit more, it's not forced. You can do like it's more rewarding to be a stealth, but like, and it's kind of easier if you're stealthy because you can fucking kill enemies much easier. But you're not forced. If you get fucking caught, you can resort to, running off, or that's how I like my
stuff. Odyssey, because in Odyssey, you kill a target, and then all of a sudden you have all these high level other targets coming around trying to kill you, and you're fucked.
Yeah. What game is it? Skyrim. Don't stealth kill a fucking chicken. The whole goddamn town will be on you.
Oh my god! Don't fucking kill a chicken in any damn game. I am still like mortally wounded from Ocarina of Time. When I killed a chicken and then mobs of chickens just came and killed me. It was awful. I had to watch myself die.
Speaking of that, I saw something it was like a video on Breath of the Wild. This guy used chickens to damage one of those side bosses. He he attacked the enemy and then had the enemy attack the chickens, and then like a horde of chickens started attacking this boss. It's pretty funny. I'm gonna have to post it on Twitter, man. It's hilarious.
The Shady said, did I just hear Zelda and stealth in the same sentence? I wanted to reply with saying, yes, you probably did, because in Zelda, especially Breath of the Wild, if you swing your sword 3 times, your fucking sword breaks, and then all of a sudden you're out of stamina, so you might as well do it slow and steady. I love Breath of the Wild. It's a great game.
On the real, like, I know that mechanic like annoys people. The stamina shit gets annoying, but like the whole breaking of weapons, it makes you use other weapons, because like in games, especially games like that, you get a badass weapon, you never fucking change your weapons. So they could have 100, 300 weapons in the game. You're like, nah, I'm good. I got this one sword I've been using for the whole fucking game. But in this one, it's like swing, 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 break. All right, I'm gonna use this one and that one. Yeah.
No, I like it though, because I like Breath of the Wild. It is fluid. Like I love the open world. Like it is a stellar game, and like, I always I just do it more to make fun of it. It's really not that big of a deal, right? You know what I mean? You get used to it when you play it enough. You don't think about it as much either. And again, having the variety of weapons in that game is something you never had in the Zelda game before. And of course, you can use different weapons for different enemies, and you kind of have to, because sometimes they're big enemies and you want to keep your distance. And then there's ones you'll want to be closer to. And yeah, it's not as bad. I wish it wasn't as drastic. Maybe there should be a little bit more. Stamina was a little bit longer, and maybe maybe the weapons didn't break as much, especially if it's like a steel weapon, right? Like if you got a fucking steel sword, it shouldn't be cracking off after you beat like 3 enemies. Like you should have it for a little while, and okay, now it's done. But small gripes, right? For an otherwise phenomenal.
I've talked about Breath of the Wild, so I played who was I talking to? I think it was Obi-Wan. I'll put him on blast. He's like, yeah, I still think that Assassin's Creed Odyssey is better as an open world game and this and that. Because I've said Breath of the Wild. The reason why I say it's the best open world game of this generation is because the things you can do in that game, it's just, it's crazy. The scope of the mountains, like you're climbing the fucking mountain. I could go on, but you could surf on your shield and it's crazy. I don't know. That game is amazing to me, but that's what it is. It's an opinion, so I'm not wrong, right? It's my opinion.
It's an opinion, and everybody's entitled to it. There's hardly a person in this whole chat room tonight that's going to pick the same game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying, and this is the beauty of the gaming industry we're in. There's fantastic games out there, and one man's trash, another man's treasure. Said some people don't really like this Rage 2. I think the game is fantastic and totally recommend it, but that is the way it goes. Some people don't like Red Dead Redemption 2. When people say that, I'm kind of like, what? But look, I understand. That's how it goes. Yes, most overword used in gaming. That's a great question for the chat. What is the most overused word in gaming? Salty says trash. Anybody else have a word that you're just tired of hearing? Primal?
Probably the whole the get good, and I remember back in the day it was leet. That's all I heard was fucking I'm so leet or you're not leet. All that
You're
shit.
not leet.
Awful. Horrible.
Is that like elite without the E?
Yes, it was so horrible for the longest time.
Oh,
Know,
suck my ick. Suck my ick because I can't put a D in front of dick.
Suck my ick. I like that a lot.
You ain't got tits, girl. You just got its. You got the its. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Yeah, Rage 2 is not optimized for Xbox One. Kind of fucking, it's enhanced apparently, but I don't know what part it's enhanced other than maybe more stable frame rate. But yeah, kind of bummer. Well, I guess let's get into your question, Primal. Let's close out the show here now as we get pretty close to the 2-hour mark, and we'll let you guys get out of here. So hit them up with your question of the night, Primal.
All right, completely off topic from everything that we talked about tonight. All right, I want to know, what do you guys do to kind of like pick up a chick or a guy, whichever your flavor preference is, you know, like what are some of like the pickup lines that you use, or maybe some of the things that you do to kind of like let them know that you're interested?
Interesting. Well, let's let our guest take this one. Salty, maybe you could tell us what terms you use on your wife. You're doing pretty good there. Got the second kid on the way. Congratulations, by the way. What, another couple weeks?
Yeah, July 9th.
July 9th. Yeah, it's a Cancer baby. I was a Cancer month baby.
Yeah, I'm July 4th. My wife was like trying hard for the baby to be born on my birthday. I was like, dude, people don't want to deliver a baby on the 4th of July. So anyway, it worked out. But
Tom Cruise's 4th of July.
Yeah, it's a cool birthday, but people go out of town and shit. It is what it is. You can yeah.
I want to go on holiday. Fuck that kid being born today. Get back on that badge.
No, my parents, they're like, fuck you, we're going out of town. It's hot as shit in Arizona. I'm like, every fucking year, everybody's like, yeah, we're going out of town, man. Good luck. Good birthday. And then everybody wants to go watch the fireworks. 510 outside at night in Phoenix, sweating your ball sack off, waiting for fireworks to go off. That's not my idea of a good time. Right? Maybe somewhere where it actually cools down at night, but not in Arizona. So, yeah. Line here's a pickup line for all you guys out there. If you want to get a girl pregnant, all right, you say, hey, do you know how much a polar bear weighs? And then she's like, nah, I don't know, what enough to break the ice. Hey, I'm Saltiest Gaming or whatever. You put your name in there, boom, pregnant.
Enough to break the ice, boom. Is that the line you use, or is that just the one you're recommending for people to try?
I don't even know. I met my wife at a Halloween party. I would have to talk to her again. I don't know. I don't remember, man. I just put on the moves and got her phone number and boom, pregnant.
Oh, that's right. You'd be like, baby, taste my jizz, and you know what I'm known as on gaming, salty. Brahma, go ahead.
Pregnant.
Shit. Why didn't I even think of? I'm so stupid. I didn't even think of my own answers to my own damn questions. I I don't know. I kind of, all right, this is going to sound kind of horrible, but I'm mean. If I like you, I'm gonna be mean to you. I'm gonna go like back to like kindergarten where like I'm gonna kick you in your face because I love you type thing. Uh I don't know. I'll be mean. I'll start like
Mm.
I don't know. I'm always gonna joke around, but I don't know. I'll just
Mm.
be mean about it for some reason. I don't know what it is, and I also ask a lot of questions.
Oh.
If I'm interested in somebody, I'm gonna ask you 800 million questions because I want to know more about you. But no, I'm kind of mean. I just realized that. It's probably why I have a lot of bad relationships because they're just as mean back. But
Mm.
no, that and also obviously like the whole gaming thing. I'm extremely competitive. If I like you, I'm gonna call you out and I'm gonna want to fight you. Like I'm gonna want to try and one up you and go back and forth because nothing turns me on more than somebody who can beat me at my own game. I don't know what it is, but it's just
Mhm.
something that I like. It's so weird.
There you go. Beat Primal. She beat you. Oh, love it. Fantastic. Oh man. Well, I tell you, though, I don't really know. I used to have lots of cheesy come on lines. I don't know. I can't think of a whole lot right now. I love the one that Will Smith used on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I'm back in that amazing show. When the girl walks up to him, he goes, "Baby, your legs must have been tired." She goes, "Why is that?" He goes, "Because you've been running through my mind all night long." Oh man, there's been so many good ones. It's kind of weird. This technically wasn't a come on line, but when I lost my virginity to one particular girl, I was getting a bit older, right? And I was getting really annoyed because girls are famous for giving you like these little lead ons, and then the moment you sort of step up to the fucking plate, they put their ball glove away and they're just like, just leading you on, maybe seeing how far you'll go. But this is one particular night, with this girl, and she's kind of leading me on for a bit. Her brothers were telling me, "Yeah, she's really digging you, man," all that stuff. And she's just like, it was like the perfect opportunity, but she wasn't saying anything. And I just got fucking fed up with it. And I looked at her and I said, "So are we going to fuck or what?" And that was it. I was fucking blunt and to the point. Yeah, later on we did get it on. I probably should have got a slap across the face and kicked out, but it was, it's not one of my prouder moments, but I was just like, man, like I'm tired of fucking beating around the bush unless I'm really beating around the bush.
It's not like you put Vaseline on the doorknobs or anything as a sign, like, "Hey, you're staying here tonight."
But it's nothing worse than
That's
people
awful.
giving you the fucking signals and then they put the fucking smoke out before the fire even gets started. You know what I mean? Like it drives me nuts. Like stop leading people on, and then the moment they build up, like nowadays, it's hard to do anything because the moment you say something, you're afraid that someone's gonna fucking charge you with some sort of sexual
Right.
harassment or fucking bullshit like that. Like you don't even know what to say anymore. It's like like what's your name, what's your number,
Oh, I know,
So
it's so stupid. That's why I'm almost like to guys, like, you know what, just give me your worst. Tell me what. Somebody told me that they wanted to run a rape train on me, and I ended up being best friends with him. So, like you never know. So, I guess it depends on the girl.
shout out to our good buddy Randall Flora, but he has a great pickup line. I'm Randall Flora, the man with the million. They're all flocking to him, and he goes, "No, but that's gamer score, dear." But a good shout out to Randall Thor. I could totally see that right now. I'm Randall Thor, the man with the million. Oh, really? And then he's like, "But that's gamer score." Oh, forget it.
Oh, I know. Like if you know that I'm definitely interested in you, I'm not gonna exchange phone numbers. I'm gonna exchange gamer tags. Like that's how I feel about it.
Absolutely. Let's exchange gamer. I like that. That's how us gamers got to do it. Can we just exchange gamer tags and see what happens? You know, my gamer tag used to be "I've been whacking off," so you can take that for what you will. Oh man. What? Instantly presented with a non-disclosure agreement contract to sign. No doubt, Shady. Hey, you almost got to come with a fucking like a bag full of paperwork these days before you go on a date. Afraid you'll end up in a fucking court case like a week later. Like, honest to God, right? Like, I'd be scared to get some like one night stand like because of like a week later they're trying to tell you their baby's yours. You know what I mean? Like that shit fucking happens too. It's kind of a scary world out there. What's Iceman says he's talking to Shady in the chat. I said hi to a chick at my job, and she said I have a boyfriend. Damn, I just said hi. Yeah, you always gotta love that. You can almost tell when you're getting shot down because that's like that fucking word, that sentence comes out, I swear to fuck, it's within like the first minute. As soon as you're coming on to this girl or you're trying to do anything, they're like, my boyfriend, my husband. If they bring the relationship instantly, then you know, yeah, they're not, even if they don't even have one, they're probably just going to say that they got one, right? So it's like those girls I used to ask to dance at the club, and they'd say no, they were busy, and then like fucking 30 seconds later, you look and they're out on the dance floor with a guy that they obviously think is much better looking than you, and you're just like, oh, busy, all right, yeah, busy finding a better looking guy to dance with. All I asked for was a dance. I didn't ask to get in your pants, but okay, you know.
And
Oh
then
man,
they end up getting knocked up that night.
there you go. Ask for ID, a bill, proof of birth. Fuck, no doubt, eh? Honest to God. What? What the fuck is Sadie saying in the chat? Period blood will do? Sign here, here, and here. Initial here, sign your name and blood right here. Then he says period blood will do. Jesus, Shady. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. He's off the rocker tonight. Fucking awesome. Well, I guess that's about it, guys. Thanks to everybody that's came out tonight to check out this fantastic podcast. Huge shout out and thanks to Salty for coming in. We didn't have plans, like I said, for a guest per se tonight. We don't always kind of have one, but, you know, I figured, hey, if Salty didn't have nothing better to do, he could come hang out with us for a while. I'm glad that he did. It's always fun to have Salty on the show here, and we'll be having him back again soon. And I'm looking forward to getting back on the Salty's Gaming Podcast this Thursday. I missed the last 2 weeks. I fucking hated it, but I had commitments that I could not get out of, so I will be back this week. I promise you that. But anyway, I'm going to let everybody get out of here, and we'll start with our guest, Salt King himself. Salty, where can people find you? What you got coming up? Let everybody know.
Yeah, did a review for Void Bastards. Check that out. It's a great game. Gonna be in Game Pass. Worked pretty hard on that. I'm putting in the chat there just in case you haven't checked it out. It's a pretty good game. As far as content for the week, probably get a video out maybe, and then we have the Salty's Gaming Podcast on Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be good to have Noof back, and then we have Beastfire Tim Dog more than likely will be on, and then Jay Fonz might be a guest as well if he can make it as well. So we have a loaded lineup, but it was fun, man. Like I said, I'm always down to talk games, especially with you guys, man. You guys are awesome. So, and especially this podcast, Noof's close to getting 1,000 subscribers. Let's hit that mark, man. Share it out. Share it to your family, your friends. The peace pipe around. Let everybody know. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. He deserves it and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's about it.
Well, I appreciate that, Shady. It means a lot, man, coming from you. Like I said, you put in a lot of fantastic work in your podcasts. I wish I could be as proficient, but I rely on different shticks to get around, I guess. That's been a popular word the last couple of days I've seen. Shtick. But yeah, I will try to get some more content. A long time ago when I started this channel, I don't know if anybody's aware, but I started this little thing called it was called Gaming Spit Bits. And if you're not familiar, go back. You'll have to go back a little ways for when I started the channel, but I did a couple of videos, and it was kind of like a parody on video game news. It was actually pretty good, and I should probably continue that, but it took a lot of work to put them together. They weren't that long, but they are pretty funny. Might have to get back to that, but outside of that, yeah. But thanks for coming on, Sully. Appreciate it. I will be back with you on Thursday night. Looking forward to it. And again, you'll have a dynamite panel with the usual suspects, yourself and myself. Let's get over to my co-host for the evening, Promo. Like I said, glad to know that you're feeling better. Gonna sucks that your daughter is not feeling so good. It seems like it's one thing after another.
Yeah,
but,
if it's not her, it's me, and then it's fucking just put us in a bubble.
Hey, we'll take you even if it's for 10 minutes, girl. You're awesome. We love you to death. This panel, people that are in the chat love you and miss you when you're not here. So tell people where they can find you, what you got coming up, and what games you're going to be playing.
All right, you guys can find me both on Twitter and at Xbox at Primal Eve. Primal Eve on the Xbox is 2 words. I'm not really on the PSN that much, and when I am, I'm probably going to not talk to anybody because I'll be playing my single-player games. Right now I'm gonna be I don't know what I'm gonna play. Somebody help me and make some suggestions, and then I'll see what I can do. I'm in a gamer funk. Someone help me get out of this funk that I'm in. So I don't know. I'm
There you go,
lost.
guys. Follow her on Xbox. Hit her up with a message, and maybe she can find some time to squeeze in a game with you. As she already mentioned, you never know. I think right now it's Primal single, so if you can beat her in a game, you never know. You might stand a chance.
Yeah, that'll be the next news show is gaming with Eve, and it'll be a dating show.
Oh, that'd be funny. See who stands a chance this week. Who gets shot down and who gets a date. Oh, that'd be kind of funny,
Right?
actually. Even if it's just figuratively speaking, that would be so funny as you're going along in the game. It's like, no, that guy's done. It's like this podcast could be 10 minutes or this one could be like a half an hour. Depends on how we go. Great Skull Zero, what's happening, bro? I don't know if I gave you a shout out earlier, but you're getting one now, as well as Dreadpool's in the house. Dread, always good to see you, brother. And we got to play some games here real soon. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody tonight. You guys are fantastic as always. And yeah, and as far as me, guys, you know where to find me. Always in the gutter. Boom, boom, kaboom. It's new for leaving the room. Thanks to everybody who came out and enjoyed the show. Again, thanks to Salty. Thank you, Eve. You guys are fantastic. Lots of great topics, lots of mixed mass discussion in between. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place, if all goes well. And hey, I think next week is our last show before the E3 show, so it should
Holy
be
fuck.
interesting. Even if we might even have to take next week off because me and Eve might be doing a special E3 reaction show, but I have a funny feeling there's going to be a lot of those on the go, so I don't know exactly yet. My schedule is kind of open. Salty might need my assistance, so we'll just see what happens as we get closer to that date. But anyway, you guys are fucking phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming out here and joining the show. Cyber Gunter, what's going on? Cyber Gunter he just won something, game, I think it was, on something. So Cyber, congratulations. And then I forget what it was you won, but I know it was something cool. I think it was like the free Code Friday stuff or whatever. But anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Have a great night. Peace out. Love you all.
Good night, everyone.
See you.